Hi everyone, welcome back to my kitchen. It's been about a week and a half and my sourdough starter has really grown a lot. I've been feeding it twice a day and as you can see, it's nice and bubbly and very active. So today I'm going to use it to make some sourdough bagels. I've never done this before. I am hoping for success. So without further ado, let's get going. The first thing I did was weigh out my ingredients. I have 155 grams of sourdough starter. To it, I'm going to add 255 grams of room temperature filtered water, along with 2 teaspoons of fine sea salt, and finally, 2 tablespoons of honey. If you prefer, you can use sugar, but I'm going with honey. And then just give it a good stir with a spatula. I'm going to add my bread flour. And that was 500 grams of bread flour. I'm going to mix this with my hand to get it incorporated. So here's what the dough looks like after it's been mixed with my hand. As you can tell, it's not very sticky. If this were bread dough at this point, it would be pretty sticky, but this is not. It's a really heavy, dense dough. So that looks great. I'm gonna stick it back in here. I have my bread hook on, and I'm going to let the machine knead for 6 to 7 minutes, and we'll check back when this is finished. It's been about 7 minutes, so I'm going to turn off my mixer. Oh, that's nice. Came right off the dough hook, and you can see it's a nice thick dough. It's not sticky. It's nice and firm, so I'm going to stick it back in the bowl, cover it with plastic wrap and a kitchen towel, and I'll put it on the counter. It should take anywhere between 4 to 12 hours. It's not as warm today as it was a few days ago, so it may take a little longer for this to double in size. We'll check on it in a few hours, and then we will form our bagels. After about 8 hours, my dough had doubled in size. So I weighed the whole ball and divided by 8, so I know how much I want each bagel to weigh, so they'll be uniformly sized. And after I rolled them into balls, I just poked holes in the middle, made them look like bagels. I'll cover them with a kitchen towel and let them sit for about an hour before I throw them into boiling water. It's been about an hour and 15 minutes and my bagels look pretty good. So I'm adding 2 tablespoons of sugar to the water as it boils. The sugar will just help the bagels get a nice crispy finish. It'll be almost glazed. So if you want to put any toppings on them, they'll have something to adhere to. So I'm just going to boil 4 at a time for about 2 minutes on each side. And I'll flip them halfway through. They've been cooking for about 4 minutes. I'm going to remove them with a strainer and just place them on a parchment lined baking sheet again. And when they are cool enough to handle, I will place half of them in some sesame seeds. I'm just going to make 4 plain and 4 sesame seed. They've cooled off a bit. They're still a bit warm, so I'm just going to dip them in some sesame seeds. And once I finish this, I'm going to bake them at 425 for between 20 and 27 minutes. My oven is pretty hot, so I think I'll check on them in about 20 minutes and see if they're nicely browned. I took my bagels out after 22 minutes because they look nice and brown. They're still really hot, but I'm so eager to try it. Let me cut it through it, and it's nice and fluffy on the inside, crispy on the outside. Yum! Thanks for joining me in my kitchen where I used my sourdough starter to make these delicious bagels. It was a huge success and I'm looking forward to many more great recipes using my own sourdough starter. See you next time.